Aww. Look at this poor guy. Round and round and round she goes. Where she'll stop, nobody knows. This poor man has been doing this for the past 10 minutes. And welcome back, everybody, to the next episode of Cities Skylines, here with Splatt. In our last episode, we spent some time working on our industry and getting things set up there, and this time around, we are going to have to put in some residential areas. So we have increased the industrial capacity of our city by adding in some unique factories and some additional things to our forestry area. We now have a furniture factory as well as a paper mill. And in addition to that, we have the beginnings of a farming area as well. All of this combined means that we now have a demand for residential. In fact, we have high demand for residential and a little bit of commercial. So what I'm thinking we're going to do is this area right here, just to the side of this high density residential area we made, is going to become our new residential area. Now, I've picked up some new assets and some different things, and I've been putting together some themes. And what I want to do with this new residential area is to kind of contrast the high density, high rise apartment block that we have over here. I'd like to build a little bit of a suburban neighborhood, low density residential with single family houses as opposed to large apartment blocks. In addition to that, I want to try to begin incorporating our railway into our city. We have a rail line here that we're not using that used to run over here to where the farming area was, but I decided I didn't want it over there. But it is getting to that point where we are going to need some rail access for our industry to start moving some of their goods in and out. What I think I want to do is I want to take out this road right here. And I want to rework this off ramp here because it's not a very well put together one. It's going to cause some traffic issues in the future. This whole U-turn thing here is going to just become a nightmare as things develop. And the idea being that if I can take this interchange and turn it into something a little simpler, probably something like what we've done over here with these very simple on-ramp, off-ramps, I can bring the rail line down and actually put our rail depot closer to the highway so that we don't have to deal too much with traffic trying to go through these other areas with the goods. So to do that, we're going to have to purchase some land. And there is a very unfortunate aspect of what we're doing here. This interchange is actually part of, I believe, two pieces of property. If I want to get rid of this interchange and make it better, I'm going to have to buy both of these pieces of land. Fortunately, we have a lot of money we've been saving up, so we're just going to go ahead and purchase both of these. Bam, bam, thank you, ma'am. And we are now ready to start changing this intersection up and preparing the land in order to build our new residential area and our new rail depot. So I'm going to be doing a little bit of terrain changing here to get some roads put in. I'm going to be moving the railroad around. I'm going to be putting some roads in. So let's get started on that, and I will come back to you guys when that is all squared away. So let's get busy. Well, okay, so we have put in our new on-off ramp that I think is going to work a lot better than the one we had before. We got rid of all that little squirrely spaghetti stuff and just put in a basic on and off ramp. You know, if this gets too busy and gets congested later, we can still work with that and make some fixes. I also went ahead and brought the rail line down underneath the overpass, And I brought it over here closer to the city because I would like to install a cargo hub for all of our industry and products and commercial goods that are being produced and brought into the city. And I think having the rail hub over here somewhere is actually going to help out quite a bit. We already have our bus terminal and our tram terminal over here. So I'm thinking in the long run, this is eventually going to turn into some kind of transportation hub area once we start getting into things like subways and passenger trains and all kinds of other good things. But that is for another day and another episode. I've also gone ahead and laid out a basic rectangle here that I would like to use for this new district. And this new district is going to be made in a suburban style. So if I go ahead and turn on the districts here, and I'll push my little buttons here so we can see the names, we're going to go ahead and paint this district out all the way through this triangle. And the idea being that we're going to be able to put a custom theme on this district, which I will show you right now. I have selected the Big Suburbs style. This is a theme that I picked up on the Steam Workshop, and I've gone ahead and edited it a little bit myself. I've kind of customized it because the original Big Suburban style does not have any commercial buildings in it, and I wanted it to have some. So if we look in the Big Suburban style original pack, which is this one here, and I changed this to show me all of the included assets, you'll see all these lovely suburban style homes that we're going to be able to put into our neighborhood and with our custom district, but there's no commercial. So if we wanted to add any commercial, we were going to have some issues with that. So I went ahead and made a new pack, and I grabbed a bunch of commercial buildings that I liked, which I will show you down here towards the bottom. Here you go. And so what we have here are a bunch of little commercial assets that I have put into this theme and added it just to help fill it out so that I don't have to create a whole bunch of different man, I can't even talk today. So I don't have to create a whole bunch of different districts. I can just create one district and it's going to have all of the commercial, it's going to have all of the residential, and we are going to be good to go. So we're ready to start kicking it up by dropping this district in. Now this map does have a bit of elevation right here, and I don't think I'm going to be able to smooth that out too much because of the road down here. We ended up having to use the retaining wall on this side over here. I haven't decided if I want to do the retaining wall again. I'm thinking not, because I'm going for this suburban style as opposed to the big built up apartments that I had over here. So what I'm thinking is just a very basic crisscross hatchwork of roads, just doing some basic parallel roads that go back and forth in a very basic, simple suburban style build. So to do that, I'm going to need to get some roads, and I think for this, just to start with, we're just going to use these regular old 2-lane roads. We're going to go ahead and put these in completely parallel with each other, and we're going to start right about here. And I'm just going to do a straight road that goes all the way down like that. And I'm going to take another road. Oh, I had a little hitch there. Autosave. Going to take another road and just drop that one in exactly beside it. And we are just going to keep doing this all the way down. I know it's not the most imaginative layout in the world, but there is a reason that I'm doing this. Because of the way this theme works, I'd really like to have the roads and all the zoning line up beautifully. And for that to happen, I'm gonna have to just make all these perfectly parallel and line up all of my zones so that we don't have any bare spots. So let me finish putting all these back in, and I will come back and we'll move on to the next part together. Okay, so now that we have all of our parallel roads, what I need to do now is go through and just connect all these up to create the areas that we're going to be able to zone for our new housing development. I am going to have to move a few things around because to put services in, schools, high schools, that kind of thing, we are going to need some bigger gaps than these, but this is a really good start. So let me go ahead and connect all these up together, and then we'll come back and continue on with what we were doing before. Okay, so I've got everything all put in. I put a big 4-lane road down the middle, kind of as a feeder to get between these two main roads here. And then I put a bunch of walking paths connecting all of these other little roads and cul-de-sacs and things that I've got set up going throughout here. I've got some connections here and there just to help people get in and out. And the next thing we're going to do is it's time to put in some services. Now, we're going to need some schools up here to go with all of the residential that we're going to put in. And I have downloaded a few different assets that I thought I would like to add to the city that I think would look really cool. So looking through our schools, I went through just trying to see if I could find some new assets for elementary schools that would, and high schools that would look a lot nicer, just to give our neighborhood a little bit of a unique edge to it. And I did find some stuff. So I found this elementary school here called the Hayes Elementary. I found this one's not really going to work in our district. Now, these two schools here are a little bit more of a inner city Manhattan type school situation. So we got the Kirkson Elementary School. This one's really neat and nice, and I like that a lot. We got a mid-sized elementary school. It's pretty generic. And then we have a city high school, a Manassas High School, which is huge and massive. And then we have this one, really, really cool one here called the Phoenix High School. And I am definitely going to be putting the Phoenix High School into this city and definitely putting it into the area that we've just designed. And I got to look at the size here. It's not too incredibly huge. And so I think we should be able to just pop this buddy in one of these areas. I don't know why I can't snap it onto the side of that road there. That is really odd. I can put it there. So let's do that. And let's just take a look at this high school. Isn't that just the coolest design? I mean, I know some people might think it looks a little silly, but this is actually based, I think, on a real structure. I'm not entirely sure, but I was reading the description of the asset and they seem to imply that this is based on an actual school somewhere in Phoenix. Anybody who lives in Phoenix, you can let me know if this is true to form or not. Maybe some of you actually been to this high school. Let me know in the comments down below. I would love to see it. All right, so we've got a high school there. I think we're going to need another high school just because of how big this area is and how many people we're going to be able to put into the city. So I'm going to grab another one here. We got the city high school. That's pretty big. It takes up a lot of space, but we have a lot of space to give. And we have the elementary school. This one is just enormous. This one's going to have to be saved for another day, I think, where we put this in a different part of the city because that is just too big to fit. So let's just take one of these city high schools and look at that. It's going to fit beautifully right there. So let's take a look at that one. Okay, it looks a little odd because of the slope of the town or slope of the terrain. So I wonder if maybe it would look a little better facing the other way, because then we can, that's different. If you want to have lunch, you have to get your rappelling gear on. What if we moved it the other way around? How does that look? Let's try looking at it this way, perhaps. Okay, so that brings it up there, but what does that make the back look like? You still got the weird... All right, well, let's just put it on a little more level area then, perhaps. With a little less slope to it. What if I Can I bring this up at all? Is that gonna... That's just gonna look kind of weird, doesn't it? That doesn't look too bad. Let's go with that. We can put some landscaping and things in front of it to make it look a little bit better. So now we've got a high school there. We've got a high school there. Let's go ahead and put some schools in. This Hayes Elementary is massively big as well, but this Kirkson Elementary is one that I really like a lot. And I think I'm just gonna put a couple of elementary schools in towards the center here. We're gonna need a couple because of all the people that are gonna be coming into our city. I think this looks really neat. I like the cheerful colors on the front. I like the assets that they put in from the park stuff with all the playground equipment on the sides. I think this is a really nice addition to what's going to be our suburban area. So now let's go ahead and drop in our other elementary school. And I think we might just go with something. I like the let's go with, let's put in a community school because this is going to be a little bit more of an upscale type thing. I think it's going to look a little sharper, and we're going to have to make sure that the people who move in really feel like they're moving into a nice place. All right, so we got a community school. So we've got a couple of schools, a couple of high schools. That's going to get everybody education. Now let's go ahead and put some more services in. I have also gone ahead and looked for some different assets for healthcare just to see what we can find. So we've got an elderly home, don't need that. Medical laboratory, don't need that. Medical, nope. We have a general hospital. We have the bog standard hospital that comes with the game. I believe that's what that is. We have a medical clinic and we have another clinic. So these are the only ones that, okay, so I didn't get a lot. I think we're just gonna drop in some clinics in this area, or we could do one big hospital. Which one would be better? Let's take a look at the coverage, because currently our city is covered very well for medical, and one of these clinics is basically going to nail the whole thing. It looks like we're going to have to use 2 clinics to really get full coverage, and 2 clinics are 12,500 each, or 81. So it's still going to be cheaper to do a couple of clinics than to try to do 1 hospital. So let's go ahead and drop in a clinic here, and then we'll grab a different clinic just so we're not repeating ourselves. And we'll drop one of those in here. I'm putting the services on the main road just because we're not going to have any houses there anyway. Don't need any death care. Don't need any of that. Don't need any of that. Don't need any of that. Okay. Let's go ahead and look at fire. I did get some different fire assets. I do like some of these little fire stations that we have. This one's kind of neat. Fire station number 24 has a really neat modern look to it. And so that is going to cover everything that we need very, very well. So let's go ahead and check out this new, which one do I want to go with? Fire station number 31 or fire station number 24. So fire station number 24 is going to cover, yeah, that's going to give plenty of coverage. So we don't necessarily, that's a station, but what, are they all the same? That's a firehouse. The firehouse has the same coverage. Okay, it has less coverage. 700 for 15,000, and this one is 740, so it's not much more expensive. Yeah, let's just go ahead and put one of these puppies in. And let me turn this on so we can actually see what it looks like before we put it down. Whoops, fire. All right. So fire station number 24, I think that is probably gonna fit right there, and then we're gonna put police behind it, I think. So how does that look? That is a sharp looking asset. I like the looks of that a lot, and I think it's gonna match the feel of this area really well. I did pick up some different assets for different police stations. And so I thought we could go ahead and put one of those in. This is a small police office, 600. How much is the bog standard? 600. 15,000. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and use a police station medium. Oh, that is larger than I thought it was going to be. What about a small police office? No, it's not going to fit. It's just a little bit off on its size, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and drop one of those in here and see what that looks like. That is a cool looking little building. I like that. I like the little police cars. Apparently it's French, so bonjour, we now have a French police force. So that means all of the police cars are going to sound differently. Because isn't France where they do like the or is that ambulances? I don't know. I don't live in Europe. Don't live in North America either. Secrets. Where does he live? Nobody knows. It's an unusual place and you'll never guess it. But now we need to do some wonderful little amenities to make our people happy. So parks and such. One of the things that I picked up that I really want to put into this area is this baseball diamond. Now this baseball diamond is bigger than any of the gaps that I put in. So wherever I put the baseball diamond, we're going to have to take out a road. And I think based on the area of effect, I'm thinking about putting it maybe over here in this little section, maybe between these two, because that would give an area of effect that covers a lot of our new development, but it also would bleed over into that high density development over there and allow the buildings to upgrade, and that would increase tax revenue. So let's get rid of some roadage here. And put in a little road. Okay, so that went to there, and I think in order to get this to fit, we just needed to come out just a little bit, not a lot. So let's do something like that. And then let's put the baseball diamond in, right? Oh, okay, so I really overestimated where that needed to go. That's okay. We have this beautiful thing called a Move It mod, and we can make this fit wherever we doggone want. That is a cool addition. So we're gonna grab our Move It mod, we're gonna grab the little lasso tool here, we're gonna go, we're gonna grab the road, and we're gonna grab that thing, and we are going to move these suckers up to get them to kind of sort of line up with that road, because what I would like to do is just have these match up beautifully. So let's just make a curve. We go bam, and we got a beautiful curve right there. Okay, and then we need to put in another one up here like so. Turn off curves, we'll keep it straight. We're gonna anarchy that puppy in, because anarchy is our friend, and we're gonna do this. Oh, come on. Oh, nope. Don't need the lasso. I want the point. I want the node selector. We're gonna go like that just to make sure that we don't have trees growing in our road, because that would be very unusual and probably unsafe for all the people that would drive into them. And we got that all straightened out. Now we go like that. We click this. We go wham. We go bam. We go thank you, ma'am. And now we have a curve. And then we can go wham. We can go bam. And we can go boom. Let's see. Yes. Yes, I'm liking it. Okay, and then we can go there and like that, and that's a little weird looking. But let me see if I can move it mod. That's weird. Let's fix that actually. You know what? Let's go ahead and take that out while we're here, and then we will move it mod. Move it mod, move it mod, love the move it mod. And now we go wham, bam, and we say, yes, thank you, ma'am, or sir, or whatever your preference is. And then we're going to put that back in. We're going to move this around a little bit just to make it look a little bit spiffier. And would you look at that? We have a nice baseball field. I like it. That is cool. Okay, and we need to put some more parks in because that is not going to cover everything. We do have this little aqua fun park, but I'm going to save that for another time. We do have a modern art plaza, which has a really big area of effect. And I think a modern art plaza would look really nice up here by our high school, possibly even across the street. Just like that. And that brings in some lovely little minimalistic cube modern art looking stuff. I mean, this takes years and years and years of study at prestigious art universities in order to create a giant black cube that gets put in the middle of a plaza. Their mother, I'm sure, is proud of them. We do need to have some amenities down here, and I think for that we might just go with some of the bog standard boring stuff that comes with the game, because of the slope, whatever we put down here is going to look really weird either way. So let's just drop a nice, beautiful dog park in right here, like so. And because of the slope, because of the park, the dogs can all drink their V8 and try to walk in a straight line as they play. Imagine the joys the dogs can have as they get on this little teeter-totter here and they jump off the teeter-totter, but because there's a hill, they can go so far. They can go from one teeter-totter to the next. It's gonna be great. All right, I'm not gonna hit the escape key anymore because that's just really stupid. I think we're ready to start zoning this in. So I am going to zone until I can zone no farther. And then I will come back and we will watch and see how this place grows. Of course, I'll do the water, I'll do the electricity. And yeah, we are going to, bam, throw in some low density residential. I will be right back. Well, as you can see, things are slowly starting to fill in here in our new area. It is going to take a while because we did just put in a very large section of the town. So it's going to take a while for the residential demand to catch up with what is going on. But you can see that these neat little suburban homes are already starting to move in, and we're already getting that look and feel that I was hoping for. With these little, I love like the way that they add in the trees to make it look a little bit more established, a little bit more older of a neighborhood. This one's kind of a neat little farmhouse with the fence on it. I got this one here, which is a nice little ranch style house. And so I think this is going to work out quite nicely once people begin moving in. All right, so as we're waiting for that new residential area to fill in, I think it is time for us to start taking a look at putting in a cargo train station to give our industry and commercial areas a place that they can use to move their goods around. And like I said, I brought the rail line down from up here and I brought it underneath the overpass. I used some of these little retaining walls that I have, which I think are kind of a neat little addition that I found because I had to lower the tracks to get underneath the overpass successfully, and I think that looks really sharp. And I brought that over here, and we are going to drop a cargo station in so that we can have quick access to the highway and also access to the rest of the town without too much trouble. So let's take a look at what we have here. So we have a train station and we have a cargo train terminal. I don't want to put the cargo train terminal right on that main road because eventually there is going to be a lot of traffic there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take just a little industrial road and I'm going to pull it off of this road here. Pull it out here, come across like so, and then we can take our train, cargo train, and we can put it in here, and then we can move it mod all of this stuff and push that back a little bit. Like so. And then we'll just take our train rail, and all we got to do is connect those together. And we should now have a functioning train terminal if we can get it some power. Just bring this across there and bring that into there like that. Does it have water? It probably is going to need water to run all the way around. So we'll do that. And now vehicles can come into the cargo train here and they can load and unload as they see fit. And I do want to screen off this thing a little bit. I like the idea of trying to think of how they would maybe do this in an actual city. And you probably wouldn't want to just have this thing sitting here on the side like that. So maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. But I'm going to use a neat little tool here that allows me to just draw a nice straight line of trees that goes all the way down. And we're going to drop those in like that. And I think that will help quite a bit. And while we're in the detailing mood, let's go check out some of these special things that I put in that I said I wanted to go do a little bit of landscaping too. So we had this city high school that the front of it, to be perfectly honest with you, is kind of boring and bare. So let's turn on prop and tree anarchy and let's see what we can do to make this a little bit more of an attractive building. I want to try to get maybe some flowering trees and we'll drop those in. Maybe do a few of those like that. That's a little better. And I bet there's going to be some bushes and some shrubbery because as the knights who say ni have made it known, we must have shrubbery. That's kind of a weird stairwell, but you know what? I'm just going to ignore it for now because it's still just a game and nothing is ever going to be absolute. Ooh, that's a big bush. Nothing's ever going to be perfect. We're not going to be able to get everything to work exactly like it should. And so we're just going to ignore those stairs and just put some flowers in to make this look a little nicer. How about some props? Do we have any kind of props that we want to toss in here? That would be under here. Props. Props. Any good props? Oh yeah, you gotta have a bench or two at a high school so people can have a place to sit. Not that I would really know a whole lot about that because my high school was extremely small. We're talking smaller, I bet, than any high school any of you have been to who are watching this video. But, you know, put it in the comments below. How big was your high school? How many people did you have? If you tell me in the comments below, I will tell you how many were in my graduating class. And I can bet you mine was smaller. All right, so that's going to make that look a little bit nicer. What else did we put in? We also put in, so we've got this thing here. That's fine. The community school looks great. We've got this fire station that is a little bit on the bare side. So let's go ahead and grab some stuff here. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Let's do it. Oh, we got these linden trees. What do these look like? Those are cool. Let's put some of those in. We'll just do a little row of those. Kind of helps, and maybe we'll put some across the back like so, and that is going to give just a little bit of texture. All right, and then this high school over here, did it come with much in the way of decorations? You know, I don't think it really needs it because eventually something's going to grow right there. I want to make sure that's actually still zoned like it's supposed to be. Looks like it is, and eventually there's going to be a building there, so I don't think we really need to decorate a whole lot for that. We've got our modern, sorry about that. We've got our modern art here, that looking fine. The baseball field. You know, I think it's okay for now. We'll let things grow in around it. All right. This is looking sharp. I like this a lot. I'm really happy. Ooh, we got matching houses. Can't have that. Sorry, your house is gone. You'll build something back and hopefully it won't be exactly the same as the other one. I do like this theme a lot. Can you imagine what this is going to look like once we actually get everybody moved in and then all of this area is full? It's going to look absolutely gorgeous. It has now been some time and the demand has finally caught up with as much zoning as we did. And I have to say that this district that we put in is looking really, really nice. I really like the theme that we put in here and how they put all these old neighborhood trees in that make it look like this has been here forever. And I really like the way that these little suburban homes just fit right in back to back. That work. This is why we put the roads in with the parallel setup that we did, because I knew that these buildings were designed to fit a particular size of roadway. And this is just gorgeous. Of course, we're going to have occasional situations where we got doubles like that. It's just the number of assets that we have, and I might go through and clean those up later, but I am really, really happy with how this turns out. And because we put in this baseball diamond and added some more of the amenities, I put in a couple little sunken plazas here. These things are really neat looking. People seem to be loving these things. They're just using them, they're hanging out, enjoying the nice spring day. And because we put those in, it also increased the value of the land across the road in the dense area. And you can see that we are starting to get some very impressive structures over there. So all in all, I think this turned into a really neat setup, and I am very happy with how this works. Well, I absolutely love how this little suburban neighborhood came together. I really like the theme, I really like the assets that we use, and I think it's a wonderful addition to our town, and it has met some definite needs that we had for more people to fill in some of the industry and the commercial that we had around town. Thank you so much for joining me as we've put this development in. If you like what you've seen, go ahead and hit that thumbs up and give me a like. Maybe even leave a comment down below with some suggestions on what you'd like to see. Do you have some favorite assets that you use that you'd like to see in the city of Odyssey? How about a theme? What would you like to see changed? Is there anything that you would like to that I did wrong that you want to tell me about? I'm open to criticism and I'd love to hear it. So please leave your comments down below. Hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss any more of the City of Odyssey as we continue to build this beautiful and wonderful town and we continue to grow the population. Thanks again for joining me, and I'll catch you guys next time.